I was bored, so I made $2,000 in a day at 22. And no, I didn't flip some BS NFT, I didn't do crypto or dropshipping or any of these popular things you see all over the internet. All I did was to solve a painful problem for someone. That's it. And I'm going to break it down in the simplest way possible, like I'm explaining it to a 5-year-old. Because that's what I wish someone had done for me when I got started in business. Most gurus make this stuff way too complicated just to make themselves sound smart. So here's the system I used. Offer, traffic, calls, delivery. That's it. These are the 4 simple steps that made me $2,000 in a day. So let me break it all down in a way that actually makes sense. First, let's talk about the offer. This is the most important part that 99% of beginners mess up. They spend weeks creating something they think people want without actually asking anyone first. It's like cooking a fancy fish dinner for someone who's allergic to fish or hates seafood. Here's what smart entrepreneurs do instead. They ask people what they want first, then they sell it before they even build it. Yeah, you heard that right. I sell stuff before I create it. Why? Because then I can build it with my clients and give them exactly what they want. Let me give you a real example. When I started trying to make money online, I spent 3 months building this detailed online course. I thought it was exactly what people needed. I created all the modules, I made the worksheets, I made the whole thing. Do you want to know how many copies I sold? 0. Absolutely 0. I'm not joking. And that's because I never bothered to ask anyone if that's what they actually wanted. So now I do the complete opposite. I don't sit around thinking, what should I create? Instead, I reach out to people who already trust me and I ask them, what's your biggest struggle right now? One guy told me he needed help getting customers. Another person needed help with their sales process. I didn't guess all of that. I simply asked people. Then I made them an offer based on exactly what they told me they needed. This approach completely changes the game. Instead of hoping someone wants what you're offering, you know they want it because they literally told you. Your offer becomes a perfect solution to their specific problem. And when this happens, selling becomes easy. It's not manipulative or sleazy. It's helpful. You're giving people exactly what they asked for. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to share on YouTube, which is why to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from 0 to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team and together, we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick because we literally get hundreds of applications per month. So we don't have enough spots for everyone. Now let's talk about traffic. As Alex Hormozy says, for most businesses making under $1 million a year, the biggest problem isn't their product, it's that nobody knows they exist. You could have the best service in the world, but if no one knows about it, you're still broke. There are 2 main ways to get traffic. There's paid ads, which I don't recommend when you're just starting out, because you can burn through cash very fast if you don't know exactly what you're doing. Believe me, I've wasted a lot of money figuring this out. Once I spent $500 on Facebook ads and got exactly 0 customers. And it's not because my offer was bad, but it's because I had no idea how to target the right people or create ads that actually converted. Then there's organic methods. First, there's social media content. And this works great because people already know you, like you, and trust you. When somebody's been watching your content, they're way more likely to buy from you than some random stranger. The key with content is consistency and authenticity. You don't need to be perfect or have fancy equipment. You just need to provide genuine value and show your personality. I've made some of my biggest sales from simple videos I recorded in my bedroom with bad lighting. People connect with real humans, not polished corporate brands. That's your advantage. Now the second organic method is appointment setting, which is basically cold outreach. I made a list of 50 people I thought could use my help, and I sent them all a personalized message leveraging AI. It wasn't some copy-paste template garbage, it was a real message talking about their specific situation. Out of those 50 messages, 15 people responded and 3 agreed to get on a call with me. The secret to effective outreach is personalization. Generic messages get ignored unless you do a massive amount of volume to compensate for that loss of quality. But when you take the time to check out someone's profile or website and mention something specific about them, your response rate skyrockets. It shows you actually care and aren't just spamming everyone with the same pitch. Which brings us to calls. If you want to stay broke forever, try selling a product through a web page with no human interaction. Only 0.2% of visitors will actually buy that way. That means you need 500 visitors on your site just to make one sale. So that's a pretty bad conversion rate. Instead, get people on calls. During the call, you do 3 simple things: understand their current situation, figure out where they want to go, and identify what's blocking them. Then, you position your offer as the bridge that gets them from where they are to where they want to be. The biggest mistake people make on sales calls is talking too much about themselves and their offer. Nobody cares about your fancy features or your certification. They care about their problems and how you can solve them. So spend 80% of the call listening and asking questions, and only 20% presenting your solution. On sales calls, you can expect to close about 25% of leads on average, but that number can be much higher if you're only talking to warm, qualified leads. Finally, there's delivery. How you deliver depends on what your offer is. If you're teaching someone something, you're doing coaching. Start with one-on-one coaching, then gradually move on to group coaching, and eventually digital products. One-on-one coaching is the easiest place to start because you can customize everything for each customer. It's also the highest ticket item you can offer as a beginner. Remember that you want to price your coaching not for the time it takes you, but for the transformation you help your client accomplish. If you provide a service for a client, you're doing done-for-you work. You can either do it yourself or leverage a remote contractor to do it for you. You will easily find lots of talented but underrated contractors on sites like Fiverr or Upwork. Understand that when you're just starting out, you don't need to know how to do everything yourself. You just need to know how to find people who can do it for you. I've personally closed deals on services I had no idea how to deliver, but I knew I could find someone who did. So for example, the client pays me $1,000, I pay a contractor $300 to $500, and I keep $700 to $500 as the deal broker. So everybody wins, because chances are on their own that freelancer wouldn't have landed that extra customer. Most people overthink building a business. They spend months building a perfect website, designing logos, and setting up complex systems before they even get a single client. I literally made $2,000 with nothing but my phone and a Google Doc to take notes during the calls. The crazy part is that I could do this any day I wanted to. That's the power of having a simple system. But most days, I don't need to do this because I've built a consistent business that brings in clients automatically. Most people fail at making money online, not because it's difficult, but because they make it difficult. They get trapped in analysis paralysis. They're constantly consuming courses and content, but they never take action. Or they get distracted by every new shiny strategy that comes along. Success comes from simplicity and consistency. You want to pick one method and stick with it long enough to master it. Understand this: Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a sustainable business. But you absolutely can make $2,000 in one day just like I did, once you have the fundamentals in place. Now, I'm going to be honest, it won't happen overnight, but the possibility is there. Now, as you scale, outreach becomes demanding and very hard to keep up with. Content is amazing, but unpredictable. You never know exactly how many views you'll get. That's when paid ads come in. With ads, you can buy as much traffic as you want, scaling pretty much infinitely. But here's the catch: don't start with ads. Start with what I just showed you. Get your offer right by asking people what they want. Generate traffic through content and outreach. Get on calls and learn how to close. And then deliver massive value to your clients. That way, you'll get testimonials, you'll get referrals, and it creates a snowball effect. Now, once you've proven your system works, then you can pour gasoline on the fire with paid ads. Not before. I see too many beginners trying to run Facebook ads to cold audiences for high-ticket offers, and they wonder why they're losing money. You need to master the fundamentals first. When you do start with ads, start small. Test with $20 a day, not too hard. Track your numbers religiously. Know exactly how much it's costing you to get a lead, a call, and a client. Data is your best friend when it comes to paid traffic. Let me be super real with you. I was a broke student just a few years ago. I had no special skills, no connections, as I grew up in a lower middle class family, so I had no special advantages. I just discovered this simple 4-part system and applied it consistently. And that day where I made $2,000, it wasn't some miracle. It happened again and again. It was just me applying a proven system. And the system worked, as it always does when you follow it correctly. The difference between people who make money and people who don't isn't talent or luck. It's having a simple system and actually using it. Most people overcomplicate things because they're afraid to take action. They want to feel busy without doing the uncomfortable work of putting themselves out there. I've seen people with incredible skills stay broke because they never learn how to sell themselves. And I've seen people with average skills make six figures because they understand marketing and sales. It's not about being the best at what you do in reality. It's about being the best at getting clients for what you do. That's the truth. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to share on YouTube, which is why to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from zero to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team and together, we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick because we literally get hundreds of applications per month, so we don't have enough spots for everyone. Here's what I want you to do right now. Think about one skill you have that could help someone else. It honestly doesn't need to be anything fancy. Maybe you're in great shape. Maybe you have a good relationship. Maybe you're good at organization or social media or writing emails. Whatever it is, there's someone out there willing to pay for your help. Now go message 5 people and ask them what they're struggling with related to your skill. Don't try to sell them anything yet, just have a conversation. The biggest obstacle you will face isn't external, it's internal. It's that voice in your head saying you're not qualified enough, not expert enough, not ready enough. I found that way too when I got started. But here's the truth, you don't need to be the world's top expert to help someone who knows less than you do. If you know how to get 10,000 followers on Instagram, there are plenty of people who would pay to learn how to get their first 1,000. If you know how to build a basic website, there are countless small business owners who need exactly that skill. They just don't know how to do it themselves, and they would gladly pay you to learn. The truth is, making money isn't complicated. We just make it complicated in our heads because we're afraid to put ourselves out there and to face rejection. But once you get past that fear and start taking action, you realize how simple it really is. I've shared this exact system with friends who were completely broke, and within months, they were making more money than people with established corporate careers. Not because they're special, but because the system actually works if you use it. Business is just mathematics. So there you have it. How I made $2,000 in a day when I was born. I simply created an offer based on what people actually wanted. I generated traffic through content and outreach. I got people on calls and I delivered massive value. It's really that simple. It's not flashy. It's not sexy. Remember, the goal isn't to make $2,000 once. It's to build a system that consistently generates income whether you're working or not. Start with these manual methods to prove your offer works. Then, gradually automate and scale. If a lazy 22-year-old like me can do this on a boring afternoon, I promise you can do it too. That being said, it's not going to be easy. The question is, will you actually do it or will you just go back to watching Netflix?